Greetings, everyone. How are
Hi.
you?
Here we are in Portland with a little foresty background behind us, and we've both been engaged in an energetic sex weekend, and we've been talking about doing videos on fearlessly relating, or on like what we decided to call this series is Confessions of Revolutionary Relating, and really being able to talk about the things that we have conversations about every day. And we have so many people in our life that are like, how do you do what you do? How do you travel on the road? How do you guys get along? How are you creating the relationship? Like, what are the inside tricks and tips of being able to be an avid open relater? And so we thought we'd start this video series on being able to really dive deep into what that looks like.
So we thought we'd talk about ourselves first, giving people context on where we both come from and how we got to this place of relating with our heart open and allowing the other person to be as free as they want to be. And
What's your name, honey?
my name? Oh, I thought everybody knows that. Oh, my name is Peter Peterson.
And I'm Monique Darling.
Pleased to meet you. And we are basically embodiment and what's the word? We're
Vulnerability Geeks.
vulnerability and relationship geeks. And I come from a movement background and hospitality, and Monique comes from, what's your background?
Tantra. No, I grew up very Mormon, and so I really grew up steeped in religion and ritual and really loving God. And so, but I knew that there was so much more than what I was given. Is that it has to look like this, it has to be in this box, and if I endure till the end, then I get to go to heaven. And that doesn't suit me. Like, if you guys know me, is you'll get to know me through the videos. I like dessert first, so I want to have heaven right now. And so Tantra has been one of the closest things that actually it excludes nothing and it says yes to everything. It encourages you to be able to find your yes path.
I do not have a background in Tantra, but I have a background in energy movement and connection to all that is through this mindful moving. And my particular profession is teaching Qigong and meditation. And I found this about 15 years ago, and it opened my eyes to a whole other world I didn't even know existed, which was that energy is moving through everything. And when I discovered it, I was like, oh my God, like, where do I get more of this amazing, spectacular, miraculous feeling of being connected to all that is?
Sex, honey.
Well, I think you found it through sex, and I found it through movement. And what we've done is we've combined our two expertise and passions and brought them together to create a synergy of amazing embodiment classes. And I really appreciate our teaching style and how we connect together.
And the underlying theme of any of our events is, and really in our relationship, is if you can take away any of the values or the stories or the definitions or labels or things that society or parents or teachers or people have handed you, then who are you underneath that? And let's play and experiment. And like, definitely our classes are live laboratories. And what Peter and I have been discovering in the last 18 months is, what if you throw out the rule book and you're actually able to support each other in just being more yourself? And whatever pieces, like the grandest thing that I found between the two of us is that there's this place where I have an idea, Peter has an idea, and they can sit side by side, and neither of us have to be right, neither of us have to be wrong, because there's no such thing. And then the grandest is when they start overlapping a little bit, so I can actually see Peter's point of view just as much as my own, while still holding my own with just as deep value. And that's like, I really want to be able to dive into that within this video series on like my greatest level and value and passion is ultimate connection, like being totally in relationship and being able to offer total and utter freedom.
You say that's crazy, right? How is that possible?
Well, lots of people have said that to me, but I'm convinced. And so far, it's been, even though it hurts and there's times in my life when I just want to run away and I never want to relate again. There's moments like the last 24 hours that I feel like the luckiest person on this whole planet, because there's places where the two really truly sit side by side and they overlap in this amazing way that's indescribable.
I appreciate our ability to allow each other to be as free as we want and express ourselves the way we want, so that there's really almost no filter, and that we trust one another, that even though we may not agree with each other all the time, that we value each point of view as valid. And to me, that helps us bridge any chasm or any difficulty that arises, and we move through challenges and difficulties quite quickly.
And a lot of it has to do, in my own personal opinion, is that we're able to feel our feelings fully. And so, like, we had like the biggest fight of our relationship, a week ago, not even quite a week ago, and it really felt horrible in my whole system. And like, we were really angry. We couldn't even talk about it that night. And over the course of the last few days, then we've been able to open up and like even trust each other more. I got to have my first makeup sex. That was hot, honey. But it really helped me recontextualize in my brain that fighting doesn't need to be a bad thing. Like, fighting can actually bring us to a place of raw vulnerability and openness, that we're actually standing on the other side, so we can trust each other in a way that I've never trusted anybody.
And there's a way to process so that you're not making the other person feel wrong. I think it's a very important distinction to have, that when you're processing, you're not asking why questions. You're just stating your point of view without blaming, shaming, or guilting the other person where they're at, and respecting that point of view. And when you do that, then the other person has no choice but to hear what you're saying, usually with an open heart.
So the idea is that every day we're going to bring you a video. So we might miss some days because we're busy on the road, but our intention is to try and do a 3 or 4 minute video each morning and bring you to where we are, and really bring you into the deepest discussion of like, what's the mistakes that we've made? What are the grandest triumphs? What are the things that we're really passionate about? And be able to bring you along for the journey unedited, so that you get to see Peter and Monique. And again, we're inviting you to be able to use whatever we're sharing of what works for you. We're not asking you to make a relationship that's like Peter and Monique. What we're hoping and what we're inviting is for you to be able to see that we're really living life on our own terms every single day, every moment, and offering the other person freedom to choose, like, who am I right now? And then let's meet there.
I think they should be like us, don't you think?
No.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't work for everybody. But the idea is really, truly, like, a long time ago, then, or probably like a year and a half ago, someone said, Monique, your brand is Facebook. And because I like to write a lot of vulnerable posts on Facebook, but it had nothing to do with anybody else. For me, it was, I felt like a fraud. I felt like if people really knew who I was, that they would never love me. And so all these people said that they loved me, and I couldn't accept it until I started learning how to love myself. And so for me, it was putting those unlovable pieces out there and then letting go of them. And regardless of what people said, and for some reason, then people started relating with what I was sharing. And so having people enjoy it was a side benefit. And that's what I'm hoping with these videos, is that by us being able to share, then it opens up your brain to a whole nother place of, wow, if those guys are being able to create the relationship that's sustainable and the relationship of their dreams, maybe it's okay for me to do the same thing.
Well put. Thank you. Yeah, that's the plan. So we'll be coming to you live and direct from the places that we are teaching at, and just do short little videos about what's coming up for us, what's alive in our heart, and what could possibly help you in your relationships with yourself and other people.
And we'll talk about energy, and we'll talk about jealousy, and we'll talk about lots of sex, because that's my favorite subject.
Nah, we won't talk about that.
And I'm sure Peter will talk about vulnerability and moving. And so we invite you to come along on the journey with us.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Bye.